All right, what's up everybody? It's Ethan here, and today I am coming to you from Gothenburg, Sweden, which is of course the American pronunciation, but it works, they accept it. So I am currently at the start of this little park just outside of the city. I mean, it's kind of right on the outskirts. And supposedly there's a lot of lakes, cool little rock formations, cliffs, stuff like that, some hills, and really good views of the city, which might be a little bit obscured because as you can see it's quite overcast and it's kind of just been on and off drizzling. So, since I woke up this morning. As you can see, there's still some fall colors out here. It is mid-November right now, and it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's not exactly the best time to visit Sweden if you're looking for like nice weather, but if you're looking for a much less crowded Sweden, then this is a good time to visit. So anyway, I'm gonna hike a little bit in and get back to you when I get on the actual trail. Okay, well, I'm pretty much at the official start of the hike that I want to do. This is about a 6-mile loop. It shouldn't be too difficult. It said it's about 900 feet of total elevation gain, so not too bad, but it's almost certainly going to be very muddy, so looking forward to that. But anyway, you can see I cannot pronounce that, but that is the name of the nature reserve, and we are headed in there right now. This little park here, actually just leading up to the nature reserve, has a lot of cool stuff to check out if you just want to, see some cool stuff, but not actually go into the nature reserve itself. All right, well, we're in this area called the Rock Garden now, which is pretty cool. A little snippet of some of the scenery that's up ahead. Very well maintained and well marked trail so far. Pretty cool. Okay, well, this is the official entrance, I believe, to the nature reserve, and I think they have it fenced off for wildlife, so make sure that door closes behind you. But yeah, I can't wait to see it. It's you definitely, as soon as you go through that gate, it looks a little more still a paved trail, but looks a little more wildernessy back in here. Okay, well, after a very short, easy hike, I made it to lake number 1. Kind of a small lake, but really cool, really beautiful. Yeah, it's very peaceful back here considering how close it is to the city. It really kind of gives you that, like that backcountry feel once you get back in here a little bit. But of course, they do have plenty of benches for you to sit down on. One thing I noticed about people in Sweden is that they do not like to make small talk very much, which is, fine. Like, I don't care about making small talk, but when I'm hiking, it's kind of interesting because, in the US, most places you go, people kind of smile and nod or say like, hey, what's up, when you pass them on the trail. And here they just like look the other way and just kind of act like you're not there, which is funny. Very different vibe. But oh wow, there's some Something swimming out there. I don't know, I guess those are ducks. Yeah, ducks. Pretty cool. And I've been told that while it is pretty uncommon to see them back here, there are moose living in here in this nature reserve, so it's always possible we could see a moose. Well, once I branched off that main trail, there's a lot of these little trails in the woods here that are just like constantly intersecting with each other. So it can be quite difficult to follow unless you have a map. So if you're looking to do this whole big loop of the whole park or the nature reserve, whatever, I would recommend downloading the All Trails map. I mean, it's not like you have to worry about getting like lost in the wilderness, but if you want to stick to the intended path, All Trails is definitely very helpful in this scenario. Oh, look at that, getting a little bit of a view through the trees out to a little part of Gothenburg out there. I know it looks dreary, but I promise you it's a really beautiful city. It's unfortunate that the one view you get of it right now is just that big smokestack, but I promise you, well, if we get better views, I'll show you. It is a really cool city. But anyway, let's see. We're already at another trail intersection, so let's see where I have to go from here. All right, well, I'm back on kind of a little main dirt trail right here, just outside of the nature reserve, actually. So this trail, or this loop, kind of goes in and out of the nature reserve a couple of times, I guess. But yeah, that I had to go down a really steep hill, and that was like quite treacherous. This is very interesting. Everything is just so like saturated with water here because it rains like all the time. And yeah, that definitely, yeah, you have to be really careful when you're hiking downhill around here. Very muddy, and the rocks are like all soaking wet. I don't know what this is here. It's interesting. Some kind of historical house or something. I don't know how to, it's not in English, so I don't know how to read Swedish. I can see why moose would like it in here. It's like very swampy and marshy. And like I said, I mean, this is just, you know, how saturated all the ground is with water here. It's crazy. Everything is just so overly saturated with water. This actually kind of, it does remind me of Maine, but in a way, it also reminds me of like a cold version of when I went hiking in the Talladega National Forest in Alabama. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit too. We're coming up on a lake right now, so I got to see where I got to go from here. All right, made it out to the next lake. Don't ask me the name of it. I can't pronounce the name of any of this stuff out here, but it is very beautiful. It's actually starting to rain even harder now. It's like turned into a full-on mist, but and as you can see, it's very dreary, but this is really cool. Very nice little spot here. There's tons of ducks and looks like some geese out there too. Yeah, some geese. Lots of them. All right, well, I'm gonna be hiking like more than halfway around this lake before branching off from it, so we'll see how many views of the lake I get. All the ducks decided to get out of the lake right here. So I'm coming across a big duck crossing right now. Now they're all running back into the lake because of me. Sorry, ducks. Didn't mean to disturb your little migration there. There's so many of them. Well guys, as I walk through this wilderness park here in Sweden on this dreary, overcast day, I can't help but be reminded of the movie The Ritual. If you know, you know. It's a great movie. You should definitely check it out if you haven't. It's on Netflix. But it started a little something like this, right? Some foreigners walking through a Swedish wilderness area in Sweden. I think they were a little further away from the city than I am though. But you know, if I see something that looks like a gigantic, you know, deer or whatever, I guess I'll know that I'm screwed. Love these trees. That's really cool. They're huge. You see everything is covered in a ton of moss. I feel like, I don't know if this actually classifies as a rainforest, but it really looks like one. Like this area through here does kind of remind me of the coastal rainforest you find in like the Pacific Northwest and on the coastal areas of Alaska. I've hiked through some of those areas as well, and it definitely does remind me of that. All right, well, I should be coming up to the other end of the nature reserve here. I can see some like houses or something over there, so I think this is the like eastern end of it. And so I guess I'm about halfway done with the loop at this point. I have to double check the map to make sure, but yeah, really cool so far. Like I said, I wish it wasn't quite so overcast, but it's totally fine. It's still really nice out here. A little bit of an opening there. You can see some of the little hills in the background. I think I'm going to be going this way, but I'll double check the map to make sure. Just to kind of show you on a map here, this is a map of the whole nature preserve. And I believe I've hiked by this lake and this lake. So those are the two lakes I hiked by, and I've gone down to, I think I'm like right here. This is, so that little red dot right there is where I am now. And I think I'm gonna be going, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be going down. I think I might be doing that. I'll have to double check the map, but either way, I'm gonna kind of head on the outskirts there. I think I might actually, no, never mind, sorry. I'm gonna be going by this lake and then kind of heading up back this way and back up to where I started. It's basically just a big loop of the like outer edges of the reserve. This whole reserve is only, I think, like a couple thousand acres. So, you know, 6.5 miles is about the longest hike you can do around here. There are other nature reserves that are close by the city too, but this one definitely seemed to make the most sense for me. Getting a little bit of a view between the trees there. Not the best view in the world, but it'll do. The trail is right there. I just kind of stepped off a little bit just so I could check that out. All right, well, this side of the nature preserve definitely has a bit of a different vibe than the other side. I'm currently headed west back towards where I started, but yeah, it's interesting because it's a lot greener over here. I mean, there is still some trees with the orange and yellow leaves, but it's a lot more of these like, I guess they're spruce trees. I'm honestly not 100% sure what those are. Some kind of evergreen, but yeah, it's really cool. I'm kind of up on a higher point right now too. No views, but it looks like I might be going back down here, but I was just on a higher point for a little while there. I think from where the trail started turning towards the west again and started going back up from where that exit point back there was, that was probably the most elevation gain at any one single point on this hike so far, but really wasn't that bad. It's like maybe 300 feet. All right, coming up to the third lake. Kind of a smaller one. Still really cool. There's a spot back there on a high point with a perfect little cluster of rocks to sit on. Had some views of the forest, nothing really worth showing on video, but it was just a nice, quiet, peaceful spot to take a little break. So I sat down there for a little while. Pretty small lake. You can see there's actually, looks like a house over there or something. We are in the middle of the nature reserve, so I think that might be part of the reserve. But yeah, it's really cool. Not bad, Sweden. All right, well, I'm hiking by this lake still, and there's this little shelter here, kind of like, almost like an Appalachian Trail shelter, not quite, but you can see they got a little fire ring there for campfires, and it looks like a little place where you can grill food and stuff like that. So that's cool. I don't know if you can camp here, but kind of looks like it. Kind of looks like that's what it's intended for. I don't know if you need to reserve it or what, but that's interesting. Another little high point. It's all very heavily forested in here, so it is really difficult to get any type of good view. But when you get on a point like this, you can just kind of see how vast this forest is, which is cool because, like I said, it's right outside of Gothenburg. Like I got here on the bus. It was 2 buses from my hotel, and it took me maybe 35 minutes. If you're not a bus guy, you could also easily take well, they don't have Uber in Gothenburg, but they do have Bolt, which is, you know, basically just a European version of Uber kind of. And that'll take that, you know, you can get a ride share out here as well, or a taxi or whatever. Either way, it's very easy to get out here. You don't have to, like, it's not like this is way outside of the city. So very nice. This little area right here is pretty cool. Kind of a little bit of a more open spot. There's another trail that I'm going to be going back on that trail here in a minute. It's kind of just doing like a horseshoe right now. And there was a little way to cut it off, but on the All Trails description it said to go around the whole little horseshoe loop here. So I'm kind of hoping that that means that there's something cool along here. Maybe not, but whatever. All right, I'll take it. Nice little view of this little clearing here at the end of the loop. I'd say that's worth it. It's only a little extra that it adds to hike around rather than cut it off, so not a big deal. I'm gonna be going back the other way, and I should be passing by like 2 more pretty small ponds, and then pretty soon after that I'll be getting back to the park where I started from. All right, there's a little waterfall right here. That's cool. Awesome. Didn't know there was any waterfalls on this trail. All right, well, this is the second of those 2 small ponds. As you can see, it's even smaller than the first one. Very marshy. And that should be it for all the lakes and ponds that are along this hike. I am, at this point, I'm getting pretty close to being back at the, at that starting point in that park. I think maybe like 0.6 miles from here, maybe 3/4 of a mile at the most. Not too long. Okay, well, I am out of the nature preserve now and back in that park where I started from. So this, if you're like me and you just take the bus here, it actually adds a little bit more mileage onto the hike, but it ends up being just about like 7.25 miles total from that bus stop, and pretty much exactly 1,000 feet of total elevation gain. A little over 1,000, so it's really not that bad. I hiked at a really leisurely pace. It took me like 2.5 hours, so not bad at all. If you're up here in the Gothenburg area, I definitely recommend it. It's beautiful. Lakes, you know, ponds, lots of cool like cliffs and rock formations. Not much in the way of like big open scenic views, but you know, it's just not that type of hike. So really cool though. Definitely something that I would recommend if any of you guys ever make it out here. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, guys. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys soon for another awesome adventure, because I'm gonna be doing a lot of traveling through Europe over the next month, and so there will definitely be more content coming soon.